Our first title update of College Football 27 is coming in a couple of days, but EA put the patch notes out tonight. They've got the blog, so we're going to look over it. There's some good news. There's some good fixes in here. There's a little bit of bad as well. I'm going to be honest with you. There's some stuff here that we didn't get that we wanted, so we'll talk about that when we get there. It says, hey, college football fans, welcome to Campus Huddle. Last week, we shared that paid progression options were being removed from Road to Glory and Online Dynasty, and they are officially out as of January 11th. We know that. They removed the microtransactions. Good deal. Today's Campus Huddle follows up that message and shares how progression is designed in College 27, how Dynasty Blueprint and Road to Glory are tuned, more information on Road to Glory progression, and what's coming in the title update. So there's going to be some Dynasty design breakdowns, some Dynasty updates with Coach XP and the recruiting. We've got some Road to Glory fixes, and there's also a few good gameplay fixes in here as well. So let's start with the Dynasty design philosophy. It says Dynasty Blueprint is the core difference between College Football 26 and 27. We know that. Coming out of College 26, one of the clearest pieces of feedback was that rebuilds could become too easy too quickly. Dynasty Blueprint was built to create a deeper, more challenging simulation where long-term building and sustaining a program requires more than just stacking wins. All that's good. I don't have a problem with that. I don't think anybody does, but let's continue. That means coach progression had to support the full Blueprint experience. Coach level is not a legacy score. It is not a direct reflection of wins and losses. Coach levels give you coach points, and coach points are how you choose which skill trees and perks to focus on throughout your career. In College Football 25, the max level was 50. Many players reached that cap early in their career arc, which left them with no additional levels to work towards and no additional coach points to earn. In College 26, we expanded the cap to 100 based on that feedback. Level 75 became roughly equivalent to the maxed out College Football 25 coach in terms of abilities owned, with 25 additional levels added as an in-game progression. The structure continues in College Football 27. The goal is not for every coach to quickly reach level 100. The goal is to give players more years of meaningful coach point decisions across a 20 to 30 year career. The fastest way to advance your coach is to lean into your active coach archetype perk and advance into higher tier archetypes. Each archetype tier rewards more XP, so moving from base archetypes into elite, hybrid, program builder, and CEO paths can significantly accelerate your growth. Your staff matters too. You share in XP earned when other coaches on your staff trigger their active archetype perk, making coordinator hires and staff strength a key part of coach progression. Your accomplishments on field still matter. Winning games, meeting goals, and performing at a high level all contribute to progression, but coach progression is about demonstrating mastery through the system that defines your coach. Archetypes, staff, skill trees, program building, decisions, and long-term results. Some abilities can also increase XP gains or reduce ability costs based on your staff, making those decisions another part of your long-term progression strategy. College Football 27 has an annual contract payouts as another way to earn coach points. These payouts scale based on your coach level, prestige, success, and the size of your school. Contract extensions from your current school can increase that payout, creating another meaningful coaching carousel decision. Even at level 100, you cannot unlock every perk. An intentional choice, as no coach can be great at everything and every decision should matter. Dynasty Blueprint is built around that idea. Your coach, your staff, your school resources, your recruiting strategy, your AD expectations, your program goals, and your long-term decisions all work together. There is no single solved path to building a great program. Just let people play the way they want. I get it. It maybe was too easy to max out or do certain things. For the people that want a challenge, they can do that themselves. That's why sliders exist. Put it on slow, put it on slowest. Make your own house rules. It's an offline mode. If people want it to be challenging, they can create that. That's what it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be a sandbox. That's what you guys told us. It's our game. I just feel like they're being stubborn and they're trying to dictate the way that they want us to play. And if that was an intentional choice at the beginning because of the microtransactions, well, yeah, they removed them out. We won that battle and that's great. They removed them. But it feels like they're still being stubborn on this other half where they want to dictate more of how you play. I don't know. I mean, I don't know how big of a deal this is for everybody. I know some people don't like it. Some people probably don't care. I mean, let's be honest. Most people that play Dynasty probably aren't playing even a 10-year plus career. They're just rebuilding for a few years and maybe moving on. But at the end of the day, for the people that want things to move faster, that want to play longer, that want to do things a certain way, just give people the freedom. It's a sandbox, remember? Let people play how they want. Stop trying to dictate that. And you know, maybe if you change this before and never introduced the microtransactions, maybe people wouldn't have looked that deep into it, you know, but now we see like every little thing that you changed or removed or made harder, and you know, not everybody wants you to dictate how they play the game. So I don't know, man, it feels like they're just being stubborn here. Now we also got some just Dynasty updates in general, so these are a little good. We are getting some better XP settings at least, but not quite the same that we had last year. It says in the next title update, we're updating the coach XP settings based on feedback. Going forward, we will replace the current sliders with 3 new setting options. So you're gonna have career, the authentic long-term progression, one-time XP, which I believe this is equivalent to what the normal is now. It says that the career setting is the new default coach XP speed setting, and it's intended for the Dynasty Blueprint experience. This is our design vision that truly captures how difficult it can be to build and sustain a program. And look, that's cool. Like, I respect the design decision. I'm a big fan of let the creators create. Give us the experience you want. Also give us the freedom to create our own experience. Some people will want to play it your way. Some people want to play it their way. I think that's really all we're asking for. Then there's the simulation slider, which is a balanced coach progression. This gives you 1.25 times XP. This is the best for players who want a realistic pace while still progressing their coach at a bit of a faster rate. So a little bit more of a middle ground. Then you have casual, which is going to be the fastest. This is going to be 1.5 times XP. This is equivalent to the faster setting from College Football 26. So we don't have the true fastest that we had last year. This is, somewhat close to that, but not quite as fast. So, I mean, if you want to progress, as quickly as possible, this is going to be the setting to use for sure. And it says these new settings will take effect in existing Dynasty for both online and offline, so you won't have to start a new one, which at least that's good. It also mentions here that coach XP settings apply to every coach in Dynasty, including CPU coaches. When progression moves too quickly, too many coaches reach high level end abilities too early, elite programs separate even faster, and the systems that define the Dynasty blueprint start to matter less. Coach archetypes, staff building, recruiting, AD expectations, school resources, coach points, and long-term program goals. So, I mean, I guess I could see how that could be an issue, which is why you want to have the settings you do. But again, I mean, like, if somebody wants to just play and things go crazy, I mean, that's on them. You don't have to worry about that. That's on the gamer. And they said this is why the fastest is not returning. The new coach XP speed settings are designed to give players more control over progression pace while preserving the long-term balancing of Dynasty Blueprint. I mean, I don't know. I'm not a game designer, so maybe there is some validity in this, that with the new system that they brought in, because remember, it is a whole new system. It's not like it was the last 2 years. Maybe the fastest would make things go more haywire. I don't know. I'm not a game designer. I just know that it looks a certain way. We've also got the Dynasty recruiting updates. This was a big one that I know people were waiting on. It says they adjusted recruiting tuning to improve how CPU-controlled teams compete for highly rated recruits. They improved how CPU teams prioritize and retain recruits after extending offers. It says we have tuned the late cycle recruiting scenarios that could leave some recruits without viable offers. And it also says here we wanted to dive deeper into this change. This will be a 2-part fix, with the first part coming in tomorrow and the second in a future title update. You may still see some recruits not have offers, but you should see a significant reduction in how many are available. Changes should be seen immediately when you log back into your Dynasty. However, full changes from this title update will be more evident in your next season or a new Dynasty. They also adjusted the recruiting balance to better reflect expected recruiting distributions. They adjusted the offseason player progression to increase across the board. This will result in more players being 90 overall or higher as you get deeper into your Dynasties. And it says we'll have a second update that will come in the future title updates that further adjust this to further improve recruiting generation and player progression. They also threw some extra stuff in here. I like when they do extra stuff. It says we also wanted to give you a quick preview of what is coming in a future major title update that we wanted you to get your eyes on. It says they fixed an issue where recruits being pursued by Hawaii could incorrectly receive an F grade for proximity to home. I feel like that's been in the game multiple years. Correct me if I'm wrong. They also fixed an issue where a player's risk of transfer bar could display incorrectly after making valid NIL offers when the player's current NIL variation was more than double their expectation. I heard some people mention that, so that's good. And they're doing a recruiting budget tuning for all schools in a future update as well. Now we got to talk about Road to Glory. Now I've been seeing on Twitter, it says they're not bringing the sliders back. So let's see what they say here. I mean, if Twitter's saying it, then obviously it's got to be true. It says standalone XP sliders are not returning to Road to Glory because progression in College Football 27 is now built around the full structure of the mode. Difficulty, weekly decisions, fitness, NIL deals, wear and tear, legacy score, scholarship bonuses, and on-field performance. Oh boy. The weekly agenda is tuned around the full player management loop in College 27. Fitness and leadership both impact how quickly you earn progression XP, giving players more control over growth across the season. Keeping those meters high can accelerate progression while letting them drop slow it down. Road to Glory also places more weight on difficulty, rewarding players who take on a greater challenge. Wear and tear is another core part of the balance. When wear and tear is turned off, one of the mode's progression challenges is removed, so the XP modifier adjusts with it. Difficulty is also a progression lever. Throwing for 500 yards on freshman and throwing for 500 yards on Heisman are different accomplishments, and in College Football 27, it rewards those accomplishments differently. Higher difficulty creates higher progression opportunities because the challenge is greater, but players can still reach max rating on freshmen over the course of their career. I can see both sides of this. I do think rewarding people for playing on harder difficulty does make sense, but also people that aren't as good at the game, they play on lower difficulty because they're not as good, so they might actually need more help progressing. So I don't know. I can see it both ways there. Again, just let people play how they want, is what I say. Give them the sliders. We've also seen feedback that Road to Glory players can start at a lower overall than they did in 26. This is intentional and tied to how progression is now paced across the full career. College Football 27 adds annual scholarship bonuses to create more off-season progression, with bonuses paying out each year instead of progression being concentrated only at the start of your career or week to week. Playing through high school also matters because skipping high school means skipping the first year progression modifier. Your starting point may look different, but this does not lower what your player can ultimately become. Road to Glory uses overall ceilings tied to legacy score. Increasing your legacy score by proving yourself on the field is part of raising your player's long-term ceiling. We will continue to evaluate Road to Glory progression over time and make tuning adjustments where needed. The core structure, however, is intentional and is the foundation of Road to Glory moving forward. So they're telling you this is what it is moving forward, and it's probably because they're going to be taking it online probably next year. They're setting the stage for it. They're going to bring microtransactions back. They were kind of upfront about that in their apology that we'll be more upfront in 28 and moving forward. And at that point, for both Dynasty and Road to Glory players, that's just what they're going to have to just take whatever consequences may come with that. Less people might buy the game because they want to have more freedom to play how they want. Because you take it online and that's cool. There's a lot of people that want to go online with it, but there's also a lot of people that want to just stay offline. They don't want to deal with playing against other people. They want to just play their offline career. And if their experience is going to be changed because you have some future, vision for the mode and you're going to take it online, well, your fans, your customers, the players of the game, if they feel differently, they might be like, well, I don't like the vision, so I'm out and I'm not going to buy the game. And with the game being on PC now, I'm seeing a lot of people say they're going to take that route because with mods, you can unlock the true sandbox for both of these modes. They put in different settings and stuff and you can change it how you want. So I don't know. I think they're being a little stubborn here. I get that they have a vision. I do always respect the creator's vision to a degree, but I think you have to give your fans a way to play how they want because your messaging for all these years has been it's your game, it's a sandbox. Now you're restricting things, microtransactions or not. You showed people one way, they liked playing that way, and now you changed it. So you got to expect some pushback there. Now with the edge position, they are also addressing the issue where edge players in Road to Glory could fail to trigger position battles required to advance in the depth chart. It says we have an additional fix plan for next week's title update that should fully resolve this issue. We recommend if you are encountering this issue to transfer to another school until next week's update is available. And we also got some gameplay updates here. It says that defensive package reset during hurry up offense is being addressed. They fix an issue where a custom defensive package selected by the defensive user would not persist if the offense immediately ran hurry up or a no huddle offense. Defensive packages should now remain consistent instead of resetting back to the default package in those situations. They're also addressing the switch stick input delay. They fix an issue where the switch stick could sometimes feel delayed when quickly swapping to different players. Let me know in the comments below, where are you at right now? How do you feel about the situation? Are the sliders something that you use? Are they not something that you really use? Does it affect you? Is this going to affect how you look at the game or purchasing the game moving forward? I'm curious to know. And as always, I'll catch you guys on the next one.